PBA Player of the Year, was inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame earlier this year. From Stockton, California, please welcome PBA President Walter Ray Williams, Jr. This next player is trying to win his very first PBA title in his 7th television appearance from Canandaigua, New York, Doug Kent. Our second-seeded player is trying to become the first 3-time winner this year. He's the reigning IOF PBA Player of the Year from Edmond, Oklahoma, Norm Duke. This 10-time champion is a former PBA Player of the Year from Vidor, Texas, David Ozio. And there you have it, 4 of the greatest bowlers in the world. And now let's go up to PBA Hall of Famers Mike Durbin and Earl Anthony.
Thank you, Bobby. Well, welcome everyone to what some have called the fastest 90 minutes in bowling. Earl, everybody here is pumped. There's 4 bowlers tonight instead of 5. We'll explain the format later, but everybody's really excited.
Well, I'm excited, Mike, and I know you are. This is fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. This arena setting is unbelievable. All the bowlers are pumped up. We went down and talked to them. They love every minute of this. We've got a current or former Masters champion. We've got a couple of players of the year. It's just unbelievable.
And an unbelievable field. We're going to start our opening match off with Walter Ray Williams, Jr., our last week's champion, taking on tournament leader David Ozio, and Doug Kent taking on last year's Player of the Year, Norm Duke. We're back at the Arthur Ashe Center, and we want to welcome a guest announcer with us tonight, last year's champion, John Mazza. John has got tournament leader David Ozio with him.
David, I'm here with you. It's been 4 long years. You got your family with you. Is this the night that you're going to win the next title?
Well, we'll know in 4 games, hopefully, good Lord willing. It's going to be interesting tonight how the pairings are going to go, changing pairs back and forth. So I hope that I pick the right pairs and make the best shot. That's what I'm looking for.
If this is a horse race, this is your thoroughbred. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, John. And as you can see, we've got 2 matches going on at the same time here tonight. Earl and I will try and sort this all out for you. It's a different format, a very exciting format. Norm Duke is on lane number 1.
Well, it is exciting, Mike, and I'll tell you what, if Dave Ozio is a thoroughbred, these other guys aren't very far right behind him. There's a lot of talent out there, and that gives you an idea just how good Walter Ray Williams is. He could do that all night long.
Well, he was doing it all practice session long, I'll tell you that. Duke converts the 4-pin. Ozio quickly up on lane number 4.
Tournament leader, remember, he won $5,000 because he was the tournament leader, and now they're bowling for first place at $60,000.
David starts on lane 4. I think as the players were warming up, as Doug Kent bowls on lane 2, then lane 3 was hooking more than all the other 3 lanes.
It was. And then all of a sudden it changed a little, Mike. The players started moving farther out toward the channel. Then they switched balls and they moved back in. So they've been all over the place. It's anybody's guess. The guys that really know what's going on are the ones throwing the bowling balls. They know exactly what they want to do.
Ozio with a quick double. Doug Kent would like to quickly get ahead of Norm Duke, last year's Player of the Year.
Well, the thing that no one wants to do in that field out there is underestimate Doug Kent, because this guy's won before in this setting. He won the ABC Masters Championship just a few years ago in almost exactly this type of setting. So he's not afraid to get out there and make the shots, and he's capable of making good shots with anybody.
I don't know. That guy makes an awful lot of good shots, that Walter Ray, as he showed last week, winning 4 matches.
Yeah, he's tough, and he wants to win back-to-back, and then again next week where he's the defending champion.
He's a chance for Player of the Year then.
That's right. The Tournament Players Championship.
Well, what have we had? 8 shots, 7 of them strikes so far, right?
Yeah, and Doug, I think, in my opinion, Norm Duke, when they were practicing and warming up, he was the crowd favorite. He's the one everybody here is pulling for.
Well, Walter Ray playing way outside, David Ozio in and swinging it, Duke in, and Doug Kent in. So Walter Ray's by himself out there.
Kind of unique in their style to get to the foul line. You got Norm Duke over here on the left. He takes 6 1/4 steps. Doug Kent takes 6 1/4 steps. 5-steppers on the right. Maybe you had to pair up that way. You had to throw on this pair. You had to use 6 steps, and over there you had to use 5.
I see. Gotcha. Ozio off with 3 straight strikes. We should try and explain the format here, that the winner of each match gets 30 bonus pins, and they get their actual pin total. And right now, David is bowling Walter Ray. As Norm makes his spare.
Oh, my.
Barely.
Barely.
David will then move on to bowl, I believe, Doug Kent, while Duke bowls Walter Ray. And
right.
David will bowl Norm, while Kent bowls Walter Ray. And the 2 players with the highest pin total and bonuses will bowl each other for the championship.
Don't fall off over there, David. It's a long drop.
David off with 4 in a row. And our first tap. Somebody got 9.
Well, the important thing is you still have to fill frames. Even though you're not striking, the tendency is to look around and say, well, everybody's throwing strikes. I can't keep up. But if you miss a spare, you really can't keep up. So don't get careless on your spares. And Walter Ray just keeps throwing them in there. There is a little bonus if you bowl 300.
10 grand.
10,000 from the Professional Bowlers Association.
And Doug converts the spares. Trying for 5. Walter Ray on lane 3. And we can see the scoreboard. Easy to keep track of that. They're even.
Another way to look at this, and it's very important, is you see Walter Ray leave the 7 pin on the wall shot, is that even though David Ozio is bowling Walter Ray and Doug Kent is bowling Norm Duke, this is a 4-person race. Everybody is bowling everybody, basically, because it's total pins with bonuses. So even though you're bowling each other, you still want to get as many pins as you can because you're bowling the other guys, too.
And last year in the opening match, Parker bowled a moderate game of 190 or 2-0.
193, I believe.
193, yeah. And he still came back and bowled 2 great games the last 2 to make the championship game.
Right. This format, remember, is a 48-game match play format. They started on Sunday. They bowled 32 games on Sunday they bowled 16. Monday they bowled 16, and yesterday they bowled 16 after cutting the field. 32 players started. They cut it to the top 16, and we got to this point, the top 4, and this is a grind. This is a lot of hard work. So the players are a little tired, but right now it's a lot of adrenaline out there, and Ozio has got all of it on all 8 cylinders, boys. He's going to town.
Well, he told me earlier that he was in a comfort zone this week because he was able to throw the speed that he likes to, which is around 18, 19 miles an hour. And Duke gets his first double.
You know, if Ozio keeps going the way he is, he just might stay on lanes 3 and 4 because he has that option.
He can choose what pair he wants to bowl every game on.
And they have to come to him. And if he continues to like that pair, he could be the man to beat right there on 3 and 4.
And Walter Ray is trailing by even more as David gets 6 in a row.
Doug Kent on a strike. Chance to take a 19-pin lead in his game, his match with Norm Duke.
And the soft 10-pin.
Man, this is fast and frenetic, and it's a great pace, and this crowd is really into it, Mike. Changing balls, he'll go cross lane for the spare. This is the first breather we've had since we started.
It is a frenetic. That's a good word, Earl. I'll tell you, pace. I like that word. Cross lane at the 10-pin. He has it. Here's a look at Ozio. Well, now, through 5 frames, Doug Kent trails by 1 pin. David Ozio leads by 21 pins. We got the second half of this match to go. The opening match of the AMF Dick Weber Classic is being brought to you by AMF's High Performance Lanes, the highest scoring lanes in the history of bowling. And Walter Ray is not going to let Ozio breathe. If he were a fighter, he's got him crowded, Earl.
He does. But you know what's kind of interesting, Mike, is that the scoring on lanes 3 and 4 is much higher than the scoring on lanes 1 and 2. And I don't think there's that much difference in the caliber of players, even though they're all great players. So there might be something in the fact that Ozio chose that pair. He thinks it's a high-scoring pair, and as you said, he's at his optimal right now. He's at his best as far as speed control is concerned, and that means he can hit the pocket time after time because he's very comfortable. That's why he chose that pair. So maybe he didn't care about offense. He knew he could handle Walter Ray.
Well, he's also, as you pointed out, gaining pins on these other two guys that are battling in a 2-0 game.
Right, and we could have what happened with Parker Bowen last time. You know, it's a possibility that you mentioned Parker Bowen started with 193 and came back with 279 the next game.
And how many is that? As the great Dick Weber looks on, 8 in a row for Ozio.
Dick Weber at 65 years old just loves this game. You can see the look on his face. He's loving every minute of it.
And the soft 10 for Doug Kent as these two guys are dead even.
Not only is Dick Weber the namesake, but he's also he bowled in this event. He did pretty well for an old guy.
Now, you going to go down and tell him that you said he was an old guy?
No, he probably can still outrun me, so I'm just going to say it up here where he can't hear me. He won't watch this until next week.
All right. All right. Conversion, a spare conversion, and we're even through 7 frames in the Kent-Duke match. Has it. Walter Ray now in the 9th frame.
And could shoot 279 and lose by 21 pins.
He hasn't lost this match yet.
I know, but he could lose by 21 with a 279. Consider that, folks.
9th frame. He's right in this, he hasn't lost. He's only down 11 pins.
Well, I know, and you know what I'm sure is in his mind, no matter whether he loses or wins, is shoot as many pins as he can, get as many pins as he can, because there's 2 more games to get into the championship match. It's total pins, 3 games just to get there.
Doug Kent, frame 8. Oh, now that's a real solid 8. The head pin came off the wall.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. That's just tough luck there for Doug Kent, but again, it's 3 games. Just keep making your spares. And David Ozio.
Ozio trying for 9. He still needs 1 in the 10th to lock it up, Earl.
That's right. That's exactly right. And as you mentioned, it's on the toughest of the 4 lanes. And in Walter Ray, you can see his reaction. He's been in this situation before. He's had 300. He's had 300s bowled against him. He knows what it's all about. And I tell you, both of them know there is that $10,000 bonus on the line too.
You know, David, who's guaranteed at least $16,000 for 4th place, plus the 5. If he got an extra 10 right here, that could really help him relax.
And look at it from the other side of the coin. He could make $75,000 in prize money this week with a 5-year.
You're always looking at it that way.
That's the way I always look at it. Look from the positive side. Norm Duke. Still in a tough match right here.
And he takes an 11-pin lead right there. David Ozio re-racked for the first ball in the 10th frame. Wants to make sure all 10 pins are to his liking. Big shot right here. He locks up the match with a strike. All right, we see Duke and Kent right now. Duke leading by 11 going into the 9th frame. For the win in the opening match. He has it.
What a way to start. This crowd is going crazy. I'm telling you, they're hopping all over the place.
Duke, 9th frame. With the crowd shouting right through the heart. That's twice.
That's twice, and he's broken them up both times. Big break there. We're going to take another look at David Ozio's reaction to that ball in the 10th frame, and you can see he was airborne for a little while there. Don't fall off, David. It's a big drop. All right. We're 11 in a row. He's got a little soft with it, Mike. What do you think?
So much emotion on that first one.
No question. But that, again, he was aware of the $10,000, and I'm sure that was in the back of his mind. I got an option to pick up a little more money here. Of course, we got a lot of games left. It could still happen. Right
now, he's going to get at least 87 plus 30, 117 pins in this opening match.
And then even at that, he could only be, say, 42 ahead of Walter Ray, who lost the match.
David Ozio, 287.
This is a big ball right here for Doug Kent because he's still in a match here.
Perfect. He trails by an even 10, but he could shut him out if he strikes out.
Well, they could go to a tie, possible tie, if they both strike out.
You're right.
And, so every ball is so important. Remember the 30 bonus pins, and everything carries forward. Walter Ray, never say die, Walter Ray.
He could finish with 11 strikes in this game and actually get more strikes than David and lose the game.
That's right. It depends on where you get them. Got to get them in a row. Okay, the big shot of the match for Doug Kent. Needs this one. Very
Solid
bad.
8 on this lane, the last frame.
Boy, he hit that one hard. Nothing solid there. They're all in the pit. What a field we've got here. Four really talented players, and you know, you look out there and you look at Doug Kent and you say, this guy doesn't have a chance against these guys. But as I mentioned, he's won the American Bowl of Congress Masters Championship, so he's been there. Look at Walter Ray go.
Tremendous crowd here in Richmond, Virginia, the Arthur Ashe Center. And they're getting a great show for their money, I'll tell you what.
Bet. You know, White, when you said the fastest 90 minutes in bowling, I think it's because your heart's pounding the whole time, Mike. It's unbelievable.
Well, Doug Kent seems cool and collected without that heart pounding.
Yeah, but I'll bet you if you could take his pulse, you see some of those deep breaths he's taking down. He knows if he gets every pin here, Duke has to get all 3 strikes in the 10th. Walter Ray just filling it up now, 279.
11 strikes and he loses. David Ozio, though, he ain't moving. I think he's staying right there on 3.
That I was just going to say, I wonder what he's going to do, because next he bowls Doug Kent.
And we can see the final score of the opening match. Now Doug Kent, if he strikes, it's 228 and he can't lose.
It was there. It was there. You can see the good sportsmanship here, even though they're bowling for an unbelievable amount of money. This is a tremendous prize fund. AMF has put it together, and they've done a wonderful job promoting it. Dick Weber, of course, makes it pretty easy to promote with a name like that. Now, 3 in a row here, just a tie.
And if that happened, they would both get, what, 43 pins?
They would split the bonus, 15 bonus pins apiece. 43 total over a 200. Everything is based on 200. Anything over is plus, anything under is a minus.
What's amazing, you know, Norm Duke is such a cool player. Last year's Player of the Year, and, you know, pressure just seems never to bother him. Of course, all these guys are
He looks
cool.
for it. He actually
he
looks
loves
for
it. Yeah,
he loves
likes
it. You know, and our namesake here, Dick Weber, is the same way. He loves to be in a situation where he has to perform. And I asked him about that once, and Dick Weber said, well, I'm a ham. I just love to be out there in front of a group of people and show them what I'm capable of doing. And he's a phenomenal clutch player, Dick Weber, and Norm Dukes of the same cloth.
Strike here, and we tie at 228, but there's no 2-frame roll-off. Now it just split the bonus pins of 30 pins for winning the game. Each would wind up with 43.
Every pin, so important.
For the tie. Has
it. Little guy with a big heart.
Well, 4 great games, not an open from any of the players. 228 to 228, 287 to 279. Hey, folks, can it get any better than this? It may in the second game. In the meantime, though, we're going to have an average builder here about automatic scoring. Stay tuned for that. For tonight's Average Builder, we're going to talk about automatic scoring, specifically the AMF AccuScore XL automatic scoring unit. Whether we like it or not, computers and high technology are part of our everyday life in the 90s, and that includes bowling. But in bowling, we will no longer need this, a score sheet. Why? Because with all the new automatic scoring systems available to us today, bowling is as simple as entering my name. Enter M-I-K-E, can still spell, push done, enter, and I'm ready to go. Once the ball is away, all this high-tech stuff really comes into play. As the ball hits the pins, there's a computer in the pin spotter that tells the camera how many pins are left standing. In this case, there's 2 pins. The 610 is left standing. That same computer then relays that information to this computer in the bowler's area, which puts it up on the score, and not only does that, it tells us what the best target is to shoot that spare. So we follow its advice, make the spare, and that frame is completed, and then the whole process starts all over again. But the AMF AccuScore XL does even more. It allows us to both celebrate and grieve with entertaining high-resolution graphics. We can rejoice with our strikes. We can cringe over our splits. We can mourn in our misses. But the computerized system goes even further. It enables us to bowl in new, entertaining, creative ideas like the 40-frame game, which has a different scoring system for every frame of the game, which includes mulligans, which allow us to take our first ball over if we don't like that particular result. Wow, mulligans. Finally, there's a computerized system that really is friendly to the user. Next week, we're going to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's the Bayer Brunswick Touring Players Championship. It's an arena event. It's the Touring Players Championship. That's Wednesday, November the 8th, 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll be there. And, of course, we'll have another average builder. And our opening match is under our belt. We're waiting with anticipation. There's the next match. Ozio versus Kent, Duke versus Williams. Stay with us. The second match of the AMF Dick Weber Classic is being brought to you by AMF's AccuScore XL, the next generation of automatic scoring. And a recap of our opening match. Ozio leads with 87, he's got 317 actually right now. 279 for Williams, 243 for Duke, and Kent. And right now, John Mazza has Ozio again.
I'm back here with David Ozio. David, I guess I predicted pretty good. Listen, you got another shot at 300. You can do it this game?
I was so nervous that time. I didn't know if I could get it off my hand. It means a lot to throw a shot like that, and I wanted to keep the speed up, just got a little slow, but more importantly, it was beating Walter Ray, and that was huge, and that's more important than anything.
Back to you. We got more strikes to watch. Don't leave.
Well, his focus is in the right place, obviously. So right now, David Ozio staying on lanes 3 and 4. Norm Duke gets ball his second game in a row on lanes 1 and 2. He should know this pair. And he starts with a quick strike.
What's interesting also is the fact that because Ozio stayed on 3 and 4, Duke does have to bowl 2 games out of his 3 qualifying games on 1 and 2, which seems to be the lower scoring of the 2 pairs. So that could be a penalty, you might say, for Duke. Unfortunate for him, fortunate for Ozio and whoever he bowls.
Well, that's part of the benefit of being the tournament leader in an event like this, right?
No question about it. But all you have to do is be in the top 2 and you're in the championship match. So you don't have to be first, just be in the top 2.
Ozio again choosing to finish on lane 3. And he's yet to miss lane 4.
That's right. You know, another good point is that normally in our normal format on the PBA Tour, the tournament leader is in the championship match automatically. So this gives everybody a chance to be the leader going into that last game. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I also pointed out to David, who struggled on television lately, that one game wasn't going to knock him out of it this time. As Walter Ray leaves the cold 5, we used to say, did anybody get wet on that shot?
Well, that's cruel, Mike. The ball just rolled out on him, didn't hit it all.
And the 4, 6, 7, our first open frame. We're in game number 2 in the second frame. We're in Richmond, Virginia for the $250,000 AMF Dick Weber Classic. In our opening match, David Ozio defeated Walter Ray Williams Jr. 287 to 279, and Doug Kent and Norm Duke tied at 228 apiece right now. Norm is bowling in his second frame, trying for a quick double. And how could I ever forget that I'm working with the greatest player that ever played in this game, Earl Anthony.
I don't know what to say, Michael. You're so kind. But it might be Dick Weber, who's the namesake of this event.
Well, it could be him. But everybody has their own opinion. I got my opinion, okay?
All right. Norm Duke, I talked about 1 and 2 being tougher pair, in my opinion, based on the scores, obviously, and watching them practice. Norm Duke, as you mentioned, may have figured something out here. He looks like he's pretty well lined up, Mike.
Well, the first 3 are pretty well. They all look the same.
But he's such a tough little guy. It's just amazing how courageous he is under pressure. He's got a lot of heart, and he can make great shots. He's just physically a really outstanding player.
You know, I was in the press room earlier today, and I heard him doing a telephone interview, and he said, I am really nervous for this tournament tonight.
That's the best thing you can be, I think. One of the reasons I gave up this game is I wasn't nervous anymore. You don't get nervous, the adrenaline isn't flowing, you don't get pumped up, you get lackadaisical, you don't make good shots, I don't think. I think being nervous gets you mentally and physically pumped.
you just learn to expect it and work through it, right?
Yeah, you learn to make it
A positive, as you
positive
always do.
instead of a negative. Look at this. Look at that 7-pin. That's what that brand new AMF pin will do for you.
So
you got to hit them to get them.
Are these lanes breaking down a little bit here now?
It looks to me like they are, Mike. The guys are switching balls, they're moving around, they're trying to figure something out. And, you know, as we know, the lanes will go through a transition. But these are the highest scoring lane beds in history right here. These are brand new we're playing on right now. But this AMF lane surface is the highest scoring lane surface ever.
Well, we should mention, too, about it being high scoring, that in the opening match, all 4 players had 37 total strikes, better than 9 a player.
9 1/4.
9 1/4.
I wonder who got the quarters. All right.
Walter Ray flushes it right in there. Still looking for his first double in this second match. David Ozio trailing now by 11 pins.
And you can take a look at Walter Ray as Norm Duke gets up on lane 2. Walter Ray has watched his opponents bowl 13 times and 12 of them were strikes. That's not very positive there.
He says this gets a little old. Now, what kind of an adjustment is David going to make on lane 3?
No, I think he's going to move deeper and throw harder.
Okay.
You know, that's the obvious thing to do, and but he knows what's out there. I don't. Norm Duke is getting deeper and deeper.
Deeper and deeper, right.
More toward the center of the lane. He's in around the 4th arrow now. He started out playing between, actually just outside the 3rd arrow, so he's moved 6 or 7 boards already. A lot more ball speed there.
Oh, what an adjustment. Boy, he wanted that one, didn't he?
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier, David Ozio is bowling at his optimal speed, and that one's probably a little out of character there, a little more ball speed than he's used all week. But that was a great shot. He just picked up the speed, got the ball well out in front of him, and got the positive and the good result. Norm Duke on 4 in a row.
And leading by 31 pins, bowling in frame number 5.
Oh! He didn't like it, but he got it.
He says, okay, that's all right. I got it.
He's in there real deep. You know, Walter Ray can play that shot. I'm surprised he's not in there.
Ooh, Doug Kent comes up light on the right lane, lane 4, twice in a row. He left the 2-pin there in the second frame. Now the 2-pin suddenly got company.
Yeah, this is the bucket, the toughest spare on the lanes right here. He's got the 2, 4, 5, 8.
And Walter Ray says, I got to get a double here. Boy, that came back, didn't it?
Came back and set up in the pocket. He's got a great roll going. He's got such a fine touch at the release point. He just feels what's right and makes it happen. Doug Kent on lane 4. Very tough spare, the bucket here. Want to get it between the 3 and the 5.
He's hooking it at it.
My.
All right.
You know what's interesting, you know, Ozio with that 117-pin start, over 200 average, and Norm Duke with a 43-pin start. Duke's making a run at him already.
Doesn't take long, does it?
Doesn't take long, but Williams again started late, but he's still trying to get back in there.
He says, well, I got 11 strikes the first game, and that wasn't enough. I can get 10 this game and still lose. Bang. Doug Kent right back in there on lane number 3.
Doug Kent's got his work cut out for him. He's lost a lot of count, and Ozio, of course, on a double, a chance to extend his lead here from 3 to 13.
On the lane that he has not missed yet.
Now remember, he increased his speed on lane 3. Let's see if it carries over. If it does, he'll leave a 10-pin.
Are you that good? No.
Perfect.
Ozio strikes in the 5th frame, takes a 13-pin lead right now, halfway through match number 2, as we're breezing right along here at the Arthur Ashe Center in Richmond, Virginia. Ozio now bowling in the 6th frame, trying to increase that lead to 23. He wants to get himself locked into that championship match as soon as possible.
And he made the big move to the left with the feet. He's walking almost in line with the left-hand channel, sliding, throwing the ball just outside the 4th arrow. Perfect.
And David, I think he's got a little ham in himself. David Ozio takes a 23-pin lead. Norm Duke leads by 31. We'll be back with the completion of match number 2 right after these messages. And there's the man himself, Dick Weber, talking to PBA Commissioner Mike Connor. Weber never seems to age. He just looks better and better as the years go by.
Well, I'll tell you what, he was probably saying to Mike Connor, these guys are playing just about the way I would if I was out there.
Duke for 6, and he's alive for the 10 grand.
Again, Walter Ray sitting there watching, 17 shots thrown at him, 16 strikes. How do you compete with that?
Well, he's still in it.
He's still in it, but I'll tell you what, he's got more than he wants right now. Doug Kent trying to get back in the match with Ozio.
And does. Cuts that lead back to 13 to knock it down to 3 with one more. And Norm Duke on lane 1. You know, he finished the last game with 3 in a row. He's actually working on 9 right now.
A Vera Papa 300 possibility. You probably don't pay a lot for that, though.
No, they don't pay the 10 grand for that.
Gave that one a lot of room.
Oh, did it roll back?
Remember last time on that lane, he wasn't happy with the shot because it was farther in than that, and it set up for him. This one, he gave it more room, and it rolled up. Doug Kent to get the match back to 3 pins.
Oh, the 7th been a little late, but it went. Duke's reaction on the 7th strike in a row. He snaps that arm down. Walter Ray now back up on lane 2. 4 in a row.
Tell you what, folks, this is the bowling at its absolute best.
And
This
we can
is
see that if you
fantastic.
make a mistake, you know, it's not that they're that easy. There's still, you got to make these adjustments.
You don't even have to make a mistake. Just get a bad break. Don't carry. Like Doug Kent, the first game, the solid 8, things like that.
Oh, did that hold? Did you see that ball Ozio just threw?
Ozio's bowling on a lot of emotion right now. It's been a long time. It's been 4 years since he's won a tournament. He's made a lot of telecasts in the meantime, and he's just been beat to death on television. He wants this one real bad. He wants to prove he's still a winner.
And Walter Ray lets Norm Duke. He's still hanging in there.
Oh, Walter Ray never quits. Yeah, I mean, he's out there playing horseshoes. This is an easy game for him.
Well, he's saying, hey, I threw 11 out of 12 ringers the first match, and I
That's
didn't
right.
win.
And he's only missed twice out of 8 times this game.
Ozio trying for one more time. No, it held. That's 6 in a row for Ozio.
Well, the good thing for Ozio is he gets to finish on his good lane 4. Uh-oh.
Hey, Walter Ray is right back in this match.
No, I was wrong about Ozio. Finishes on 3, and you're right there. Ozio's right back in the match. I mean, excuse me. I'm getting confused. Walter Ray's right back in the match.
Doug Kent leads the 10 pin on lane 4.
Boy, I tell you what, if Dave Ozio wins this game, he could build up a substantial lead unless Walter Ray pulls his out.
And all kinds of action going on here, but that's not everything for the world of sports, as ESPN brings you all of the scores and updates at 10, 30, and 50 past the hour every hour. Doug Kent makes the 10 pin. He's in the 8th frame, trailing by 24 pins. Is that correct? Okay. And right now, Walter Ray is only down 6 pins. What a big shot. 9th frame. Duke can still get 265. And the soft 10 pin. Got that into the oil a little bit too, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that's kind of, almost expect him to be a little light, not hit the ball quite as hard after hitting the nose. You almost want to aim it then. Big shot there for Doug Kent. He gets to finish on lane 4, which has been the better lane.
Not for him, though. He's missed it 3 times.
Yeah, but it seems to be the easiest one to hit the pocket, and he's the one that left the bucket on it. You're right, Mike. David Ozio still has to finish on lane 3, so he could get some problems over there, even though he's found a way to get the ball to the pocket there. Remember what happened in the 10th frame when he wanted it real bad last night?
Yeah, he left the 3-6-10. 9th frame, working on 6 in a row.
This is a big shot here because this puts the match away, basically.
Has not missed that lane, Earl. That's 10 in a row on lane 4. And it's CFA football on Thursday night, 8 o'clock. Florida State, number 2 in the land now. They take on Virginia as Walter Ray gets that 4 pin out of there.
Well, that's what happens when you never say die. Walter Ray never quits, always works hard, throws every ball with everything he's got.
And he's leading by 4 pins now.
Chance to put that one away as we watch Ozio, who's already won his 2nd match of the evening. Lots of room on this one. Oh, boy.
Oh, he's stroking now. I'll tell you what, this is the David Ozio that the players on the tour have seen in qualifying that we haven't seen the last 14 times on television.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Whoa! And Walter jumps all over him. That's basically for the win unless he would get a bad count. because that puts him in the 250s, and the best Duke can get right now is 255.
Walter Ray sitting down. I think he forgot what frame it was.
Yeah, there's somebody.
That's what happens when you're concentrating. You just get out there and throw strikes.
He's literally taking it one frame at a time, as David Ozio, ironically enough, Earl, can get more strikes in this game than he did in the opening match.
You're right. He could get 11 this game, and with that one mistake, the split, the 4-6-7, that was unbelievable. It's the only time he's missed the pocket other than the second ball in the 10th the other game.
And he should look at Weber after that shot.
And he can only pick up one pin on David Ozio, they're both going to shoot 260s. Isn't that amazing? David Ozio, even with an open, shoots 268.
287, 268. What does that add up to? 550 something?
555, and that's not too bad. That's a 277 average.
I've seen a lot of times when that didn't look too bad for 3 games, I'll tell you what.
Walter Ray just trying to stay close to David Ozio. Remember, 2 of these 4 players will bowl for the championship.
He lost pins to Ozio. 267. Boy, I'll tell you what, if he'd got a bad count there, well, no, it wouldn't have mattered. And there's Paige Pennington, his fiancée.
She's seen a lot of these. Walter Ray makes television just about as regular as most guys enter tournaments.
This is his 76th match. 76th time. Doug Kent finishing it out. The best he can get is 235 forward, but he's going to be a loser in this match. Norm Duke will finish it out. Also, we'll have the semifinal match to determine who's going to... And right there, you can see the score. David Ozio, 615. That translates in PBA terms to plus 215. Walter Ray Williams is plus 176. David Ozio right now has a 127-pin lead over Norm Duke, and Norm Duke is the man that John Mazza has down there right now.
Sure, you're going to need a tray to get into this final match. Can you do it?
Yeah, I can do it.
All right, he's going to bring it all. Don't leave. We're going to see more strikes. Back to you guys.
Thank you, John. Well, always confident. Norm Duke never lacks for confidence. Now he gets a chance to bowl on lanes 3 and 4. Ozio, he says, I'm locked in, baby.
Yeah, who wants to bowl Ozio? I mean, think about it. This is a big match for Walter Ray. He needs to get all he can get over here just to stay in contention, because if Duke has a big game, he could be in trouble. Boy, this thing can move so quickly, can turn around so fast. And speaking of 300s, there was one 300 game this week, and that was bowled by the guy picking up his ball on lane 2 right now, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
And Norm Duke, his first shot on lane 3, flushes it. David Ozio, yet to miss lane 4. 10 in a row over there. Walter Ray back on lane 2, out around the first arrow. Throws a little high, breaks it up, leaves only the 610.
He's pretty happy with that. He thought the ball was going to set up for him. How quickly the lanes can move a little bit. The oil pattern can change a little bit. But Ozio is really making fantastic shots.
Well, I mean, 10 strikes the opening match, 11 the second match. Altogether, how many strikes do the players have? 73 strikes?
He's got 21 of them out of 23 tries.
He's got 21. Williams has 20. And Duke and Kent both have 16 apiece. Now, that's 8 a game for these two guys, and they're almost out of it, Earl.
I know. You know what's amazing? 73 strikes out of a possible 96. They've only missed 23 times. 73 out of 96. That's like 80%. It's unbelievable.
That's not nearly as much as Ozio's doing.
No, but for the field, that's fantastic. 4 guys out there. And, we've said, and it's true, they're great players. They can bowl on almost anything. You can put these guys on the concourse out there where the cement is, and they'd find a way to score.
All right, what are the odds at Walter Ray?
I'd say probably he'll pick this up 8 out of 10 times. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. I'd say this is a pretty easy spare for Walter Ray, especially in this situation where he knows how badly he needs it.
And Duke says, well, I mean, he's looking at, I need 300.
He might get a tie with that with Ozio over there. Big shot here for Walter Ray. Remember, if he starts giving away anything at all and loses this match to Doug Kent, Norm Duke is right there.
This is our semifinal match. We're here at the Arthur Ashe Center. Has to hurry.
Oh, my. I'm surprised there. Well, I left myself some room. I said 8 out of 10.
That was one of the two.
One of the two.
Okay. Doug Kent now.
But that's a big miss.
Not out of this yet.
No, he's not. And that was a big miss. Doug Kent with a big game will be right back in there.
Duke, 3 in a row. And he's got his emotions under control, not even going to get excited.
Well, he knows better. He's been here too many times. He knows better than to get excited until it gets to the point where it makes some sense to get the emotion going.
And, flush city, Kent, quick double.
This Kent is a physically very strong individual. There's a guy that's really into it, huh? But Kent is a physically very strong individual. He gets the ball well out in the lane. As you look at David Ozio on lane 4, the solid 8. Oh, my.
Well, he had 11 in a row. That was for the Andy Varapapa on lane 4.
He kind of, David being the kind of guy he is, he's just a wonderful personality, a great guy. He kind of faked kicking the ball return. Everybody got kind of a kick out of that. Doug Kent, watch how hard he can throw this thing, get it out in the air. See that? That's tremendous strength to be able to do that and get all that revolution on it.
With not a big backswing.
No, he just he takes that 6 1/4 steps. The first step is a 1/4 step backwards, then 6 forward steps. He doesn't move the ball until he's got 3 steps left. So he wastes 3 of them just getting there. But it's a timing move. Walter Ray needs to get it going now to get back in front here. Doug Kent giving him all he wants. Walter Ray's been the guy that's had the most. Really, he's been kind of a tough luck guy here. These guys, everybody throws strikes at him.
That's for sure. Ozio, a little high, leaves the 4-7, but he's in a comfortable position right now. He doesn't have to win this match.
The only thing that could hurt Ozio is if he had a really bad game, and we just can't see that happening. And even if he were to lose the lead and qualify second,
he's still going to
get in a championship match.
The only thing, would he get to pick the final pair then?
I think the leading qualifier does, but I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. I don't even know the rule on that, Mike. I'm pretty sure the leading qualifier.
He gets to pick it. Yeah, I do know that, Earl. He gets to pick there. As long as he's in there, he gets to pick. So he would pick to finish, probably to bowl the final game on 3 and 4 again.
Unless Duke shoots 300 or something.
And Walter Ray almost left the 5-8 there. After the 5-7 on that lane, the 5 pin barely fell over out of the 5-8.
Really? That's amazing. Walter Ray very seldom has any trouble getting the 5 out.
Well, he's used a ball that doesn't hook purposely, and then he shined it up some a little bit to make it hook less. Now they're chanting for Duke, and it's light. Now, Doug Kent did that a couple times on lane 4. Boy, that was an opportunity for him to really get himself into positions, because really he's battling Walter Ray.
No, another thing to think about, they've already in the 3rd match, and that's a lot of frames being bowled out there, and the oil's starting to carry down. So it starts to favor a guy like Doug Kent, who creates a lot of back end. So he might have the big game this time, and what goes around comes around. You shoot the number at me, it's my turn. Now, the lane's favored you a little bit. The oil moves around a little bit. Now it's my turn. I've got the shot, so I got to get all I can. Maybe I can get back into it. Who knows? A win here by Doug Kent, a big game. He can get to 2-0 something.
He's only 11 pins behind Duke going into this game.
Yeah, but he has to catch Williams. That's the guy he's got to catch.
That's the guy he's got to catch, and he's bowling him, though.
He's bowling him.
He was 99 pins behind Williams.
Well, Williams would have to shoot 230 to shut out Doug Kent.
Trying for 5. Tie. Oh, well, he says bad break, but in a sense, he thought it might be more.
He was hoping to get lucky there, but if he would have, that would have made Walter Ray feel even more of the pressure of staying ahead.
And we can see the score of the Duke-Ozio match. Duke leading by 11 until now.
Until now. He just went into, unless he can slide this over, he just went behind Ozio. And Ozio has a tendency to get it going later in the match. And boy, I'll tell you what, it's getting exciting. Everybody having a little problem as the lanes change.
Ooh. Wow. He didn't use more than 4 or 5 boards in the lane to make that spare.
Well, they don't miss very many.
He almost threw that down the first arrow on the left.
Watch this shot right here. This guy is very accurate, folks.
He's got a chance. Oh! Well, you called that one.
Well, that could be the biggest shot of the day right there for Norm Duke, because if he picks it up, he's still in the lead in the match. Now, David Ozio is in the lead in that match, and those 30 bonus pins are going to be very important at the end of this one.
And lane 2 seems to roll back better for Walter Ray than lane 1.
Here's Ozio on lane 4. He gets the strike. Walter Ray on lane 1 has to be careful that he doesn't try to make it finish. If he does, the ball will go high and he can get the big split, and I'm sure he's aware of that. So,
hey, do you think Ozio, who's basically locked into the title match now, is picking a favor who he wants to bowl against here?
If he had his options, he might want to bowl you or me, but I don't think he wants to bowl anybody that's out there. Not really want to.
And Walter Ray, he seems to be going around the 5th, 6th frame. There's his first double in the 5th and 6th. Ozio, frame number 6, lane number 3, leads by 3 pins.
Took a re-rack.
Moved a little deeper.
Watch how fluid this arm swing is. This is about as good as it gets right here. Nice and relaxed. Just lets it happen.
Look at that balance. Look at the result.
Mechanically, he's as good as anybody I've ever seen.
Doug Kent, frame number 6.
Big shot for Doug Kent.
Here it comes. Perfect. Perfect. Doug Kent
I tell
leading
you,
by 33 pins.
that was amazing concentration. We have a big arena here, and we have people seated down the sides of the lanes, and a lady evidently had gone to the restroom. She came back and walked right around in front of Doug Kent. Didn't even hesitate, just made a great shot.
You probably said, what lady, Earl?
He probably didn't even know she was there, but she had to be in his vision. I mean, almost right in front of him.
Doug Kent, 7th frame, trying to increase his lead to 43 pins.
Boy, he gave it room.
Oh, he threw it perfect. Doug Kent says, hey, don't go away. I'm still in this. We got the last half of our semifinal match. Determine the top 2. Stay with us. The semifinal match of the AMF Dick Weber Classic is being brought to you by AMF's Amplank 2 pins, the choice of more bowling centers than any other pin. Well, we're in the semifinal match. In the 7th frame, Norm Duke is basically cruising along at a 2:04 pace, trailing David Ozio by 13 pins. Walter A. Williams Jr. just left a 10-pin on lane number 1. He's going to convert that. He's shooting a 2:05 game right now. Doug Kent going at a 2:39 pace. Doug Kent still has an opportunity to make the top 2.
What it comes down to, Mike, very simply, if Walter Ray Williams can bowl 211 or more, he locks himself in to the top 2. David Ozio will be the leader. Doug Kent, with an opportunity to bowl 279, could make it very warm for Walter Ray Williams. Right now, if Doug Kent can strike it off the sheet, which means throw another 4 in a row, and there's one of them, Walter Ray would have to catch a double somewhere.
Well, right now, the biggest shot, they both 48 games. This is the 3rd game on television. This is the biggest shot of the week for Doug Kent. Right
No
now.
question. If he can strike here, if Doug Kent can strike here, Walter Ray comes up in the 9th and 10th with the pressure of getting at least a double to make the championship match.
And he has to finish on a lane that he's not hit real well. Lane 1.
That's a good observation. Lane 1 has been very hard for Walter Ray, and I'm sure he's got that in the back of his mind.
Big shot for Kent.
Yeah, this is the shot of the tournament for Doug Kent. My, well, if he'd have carried that 7th pin that hit the same place back in the 5th frame, this match would be over. I mean, he would be there right now. Walter Ray couldn't stop him at this point if he'd carried that 7th pin in the 5th. So, boy, the luck of things. Remember when he left on the same pair, he left a solid 8 in his match with Norm Duke. Doug Kent did. So he hasn't had a lucky day, but he's stayed right in there. All these guys, all champions, all tremendous players.
He hasn't won a match yet. He tied and he lost, but he can still make it.
Well, he could end up with a win, a tie, and a loss, which would be
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, yeah. You can't do anything else. Walter Ray, big shot.
Oh, the
My,
8-10
almost
was up
all
there
over.
for a second. Now he's forced with doubling on lane 1.
And count is starting to come into it. Now, remember, 211 will lock Walter Ray Williams into the championship round, championship match. He's at a 204 pace. If he doubled and got 7, we could tie. That would be exciting.
Well, we'd have a 2-frame roll-off as Ozio breaks up the 7-10. David, who's going to probably win 3 matches in a row, but he's still got to win 1 more to win this tournament. Walter Ray checking that left foot slide foot to convert the 8-pin. Should be no problem for his accuracy. And it isn't. Ozio just filling the frames at this point in time as Duke is not mounting a challenge. Cross lane at the 10-pin.
You know, even if Walter Ray doesn't double, if he just marks in the 10th, Kent still has to get 2 strikes to make it.
Yeah, but he's got a chance.
He's got a chance, yeah. And he's standing back here watching. He knows exactly what's going on. These guys are
all mathematicians.
Oh, you bet. Yeah. you play this game long enough. You know, here it is.
Has to hurry.
Gave it a lot more. Oh, look at this. He had everything back there for a minute. And I'll tell you what, that doesn't instill confidence for the next shot. He threw that as good as he could throw it, and the ball hit like a marshmallow.
I know, but Walter Ray has a way of just putting that last shot out of his mind.
Well, I don't think he is right now. He knows he has to have this strike. There's no question. He's going to try to help it more. He's going to help it more. It may not go high because it looks like the ball is just stopping down there. It's losing its energy, and he just might throw it a little harder. That's what I would think, so it'll hold its energy longer. It's rolling out. Lots of speed here. All right, now he still needs 8 pins. 7 pins. 7 pins will be a winner for Walter Ray.
Norm Duke. Walter Ray now needing 7 to get into the championship match. And setting up a rematch with Ozio. It's there. That's enough. He says, I outlasted him.
And Walter Ray still on that pace that he set for himself last week when he won. He said, after New York and Rochester, he said, I won here. I want to win the next 2, and I can catch Mike Albee for Bowler of the Year.
You know, he only won 1 out of his 3 matches, and he's in the title match.
Yeah, but he bowled some numbers.
Sure did bowl some numbers.
He bowled some numbers, yeah.
And Doug Kent can finish out with some numbers, 279, but it won't be quite enough.
But there's a lot of money between 3rd and 4th also, Mike, and total pinfall determines those 2 positions. 3rd and 4th, there is not a match for those 2 positions. We just totaled up the pinfall. Whoever has the most between Norm Duke and Doug Kent will be 3rd. The other player will be 4th.
And there's 5,000 difference between those 2 places.
That's right. So every shot is important. Doug Kent, he stopped thinking about Walter Ray. Now he's thinking about Norm Duke. Where do I have to do to beat Norm Duke?
And our prize list comes down. 4th is 16,000. 3rd is 21.
What it comes down to, it's going to be Doug Kent in 3rd place, Norm Duke in 4th, and our championship match, of course, with Walter Ray Williams and David Ozio. And Ozio, again, will get to pick the pair they bowl that match on.
And David Ozio finishing it out. Our champion tonight will take home 60,000 and the runner-up 31,000.
Look how close Doug Kent is coming, though. Walter Ray totaled 190 over a 200 average. Doug Kent with a strike here and the win will go to 186 over, which is 4 pins difference.
And solid 8.
Or the solid 7 in the 5th frame of this game.
278 for Doug Kent. He finishes in 3rd place. David Ozio finishing out the string right here on lane 3. We'll be back with championship frame, a review of our previous matches, as many as there are, right after this. Stay tuned. And now it's time for championship frame. We're only going to review 1 match. That's the semifinal match. Walter Ray taking on Doug Kent. It's the second ball in the 10th frame, Earl.
It is, and this is the one that got it done for Walter Ray. Remember, he had to have this one to stay ahead of a fast-closing Doug Kent. With this strike and 7 pins, he would advance into the championship match. And Walter Ray gave it everything he had. Watch the rotation. The ball goes into a roll right there, and it's 10 pins in the pin.
Well, the 10 pin went a little late, but Walter Ray, he's looking at it. Arm up in victory salute. So, our final recap. David Ozio outdistancing the field. Walter Ray just nosing out Doug Kent. And Norm Duke says, well, I'll be back next time. Our championship match. It's going to be David Ozio taking on Walter Ray Williams, which should be exciting. Don't go away. This championship match of the 1995 AMF Dick Weber Classic is being brought to you by the new RPM4 from AMF, a powerful new spin on a high-revving champion ball. There's the trophy.
A lot better. Yep.
Well, you touched the trophy on Sunday, and here you are 1 game away. Can you do it?
Well, this is going to be the toughest game of my life. So, with Lord willing, I'm going to knock them all
your
down.
family here.
It may take 300 to win this game.
Go get them. Back to you.
Thank you, John. It may take 300 to win this game. We want to thank John Mazza for all of his help in the interviews. A little added touch here presented by ESPN. And David Ozio has changed. He's going to finish on lane 4, Earl. Which I think, personally, is a wise choice. Even though he's won 3 matches finishing on 3, he's hit 4 better. And 4 seems to be tighter.
Oh, the way he's going, it's just hard to imagine him missing. You know, it's just amazing how consistently he can release the ball as he makes, once he makes a judgment on how he should release it, the ball speed, the rotation, what part of the lane he wants to play, where he wants the break point, he just continues to make great shot after great shot.
But this guy does too.
He does. Yes, he does. Walter Ray can play the game a little different than most people, and there's not the kind of start you wanted in this match.
Wow. They got some practice on these things. Interestingly enough, David went over and practiced a little bit on 1 and 2.
I think he's using a little psychology on the other boys. He did that before the third match of the qualifying to this point also. And he had the other guys guessing, where's he going to bowl us? Where are we going to go? Because whatever pair he would choose, the other guys had to bowl the other pair.
Well, Walter Ray going high on our first shot. We'll take a look at it.
We'll take a look at it, and, this is anybody's guess why this happened, but it looks to me like it was going left off his hand, Mike. He never gave it any room. As you can see, the ball never went out to the right at all, and so it never had a chance to hold the pocket. This one, he gave lots of room, and it rolled up, but not far enough.
Wow.
So he's confused. And,
suddenly, confused, flashing through his mind like a neon sign. No area. And he leaves the 2-8, not the easiest spare, using another ball. Interesting. He'll throw this ball so straight at this spare. Takes a perfect shot to make it.
It does. And, he can, but he is about as accurate as you can get. And this one he missed. I thought he missed it. I really thought he missed it.
It bounced off that thumb hole left. Hit a spike mark there and went left.
Yeah, well, he uses a lot of angle at that also. It doesn't look like it from the back view, but he's playing it from the right-hand side a little bit, so that helps.
David Ozio, 41 years of age, 10 PBA victories in the PBA Hall of Fame.
It's tough to sit on the bench and realize you made one mistake, and it could cost you the match. Well, Ozio almost made a mistake and let him back in. Got away with it. Had the bucket momentarily. And now only the 8-pin.
It had his good lane. He's hardly missed.
Well, there's a lot of adrenaline going right now, and his wife's just having a good time. She says, well, David's going to win it. I'm not worried.
I'm not worried.
There's his daughter, one of his daughters, and the other.
Haley and Heather. Heather touching her ear there. No trouble with the 8-pin, but no quick double to get out ahead in this match. I mean, he is ahead.
And that's almost an error, you might say, because Walter Ray gave him the opportunity to really jump on him. Ozio didn't take advantage of it. Now he's letting a great player regroup, start thinking. And Walter Ray will make 2 different shots next time around. I guarantee you that.
David back on lane 3.
He's working so hard on this lane. Maybe he let the other one get away from him for a minute.
It's amazing, isn't it, how that works in the sport of bowling?
It sure is. Sometimes you're throwing harder, giving it more room on one lane, and you just don't have the courage to tighten the line back up on the other, thinking, well, it might go high.
Yeah, right. Always that negative thought in the back of your mind.
Sure. Yeah. Let's see what Walter Ray does now to get back into this quickly. A little different there, folks.
And Paige says, I'm not worried either.
That's right. Well, the ladies are going to get the money anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. Now, you total up that first and second, maybe they're going to split it. Who knows?
Well, big difference here. $29,000 between first and second place here, plus the prestige of winning this event.
Well, anytime you can take home a piece of hardware, which meaning the trophy, that has Dick Weber's name on it, you're doing real good. And that's special right there. That's a little high in the head pin right there, too. Walter Ray really struggling. Remember last time on this lane, the 2-8, because he was light, didn't get the ball back to the head pin, and he just reversed it. So he went on lane 4, hit the pocket, and this one he almost had the split.
And, of course, the first time that he bowled on this pair, 11 strikes. Only one time did he not strike, 279. Obviously, the lanes have changed since that first game.
Well, that or Walter Ray may have changed a little physically, because he bowled 2 of his matches on lanes 1 and 2, where he had to make different shots than he is on lanes 3 and 4. And he might have a little trouble getting back into sync now on this particular pair.
And Ozio with another opportunity to start putting some distance between him and Walter Ray.
Well, I think he's going to start taking advantage of it. There's a better shot right there. And how big that is, folks, you got to realize there's only 10 frames in this game of bowling. This is a one-game match, and it doesn't how big you score, it's just how far you can get ahead of your opponent. And that is a big shot, because not only does it give him the double there, but it gives him an opportunity to add on to it with the next shot.
Did he use too much emotion running that strikeout?
You know, the guy that used to do that a lot, and you could see it coming, was Marshall Holman. He had so much emotion. He was just such a competitor. He actually would burn himself out early in a match, maybe the 4th, 5th frame, getting so pumped. Ozio's capable of handling that. Okay.
Trying for 3 on lane 3.
Just got to stay firm. Keep the speed up.
Oh, what a shot. Maybe the best of the match so far.
And there's a little in-your-face Walter Ray. He ran it out on lane 4. Here's another look at that.
That's on lane 4, Earl.
That's his reaction, and here's his reaction on lane 3 as he runs it out, and there's Walter Ray saying, oh, my.
He says this guy had 10 to throw at me before, and I'm leaving solid 9s.
Yeah, well, that right there, you're starting to run out of frames, and you're thinking, you know, Walter Ray in his mind right now knows if he strikes out, he can shoot 238. 238, based on David Ozio bowling on this pair and averaging 263 for 3 games, that's just not going to do it. 238 isn't close.
Has the spare. It's Ladies Pro Bowling. It's the Lady Ebonite Classic. That's Thursday, November 2nd, 12 midnight. It's coming to you from the Super Bowl in Canton, Michigan. Carolyn Dornan is the defending champion there. Walter trying to get something going.
He needs every strike now, Mike. He can't afford to miss, not even once.
Well, he did it last week.
Well, he can do it. Remember, he won that one by just 2 pins, and he won the previous match of that last week tournament in Rochester by 1 pin. So Walter Ray just seems to find a way to pull him out. But Ozio, it's been a long time. I mentioned it's been 4 years. He wants it really bad, and I don't expect him. If anything, he might get too pumped. The adrenaline could get going too good.
And I need to correct what I said. That's the Lady Ebonite Classic. Tomorrow night, midnight.
Oh, another great shot. Another great shot. No question when he let it go. He knew it, I knew it, and Walter Ray knew it, and probably most of the crowd knew that was a great shot. It was going to be a strike.
Well, you know, David has let everybody in this field know he's the man to beat from the opening shot of the opening game.
No question. And, you know, this guy, once he gets it going, it's been 4 years, but that doesn't make any difference. He's made a lot of telecasts during that time. He's had some tough luck in the televised portion of the tournament. Guys have shot big numbers at him. He's made some mistakes in ball choices or adjustments, shot some bad scores, but tonight he's done everything right. He is ready mentally and physically to win this tournament.
And now he's getting the breaks.
Well, if you call that a break, that's the worst shot he can make. That's not too bad.
Well, the 8-10 just tip out, but they're gone.
They're gone, and Walter Ray now has to have every strike the rest of the way. Remember, I said the maximum 238. Well, David Ozio already plus 40.
And he does. Walter looked dead last week, remember? He came back.
You're right. And
just as David Traber.
David Traber made a mistake. I don't think Ozio will do that. Ozio knows what he needs. He needs one more and stay clean or any double, and this tournament's over. But there's a lot of pressure out there. There's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of pride. And this is the Dick Weber AMF Classic.
Trying for 3. Right there. Boy, that 9-pin looms big right now, too, you know.
And nobody applauds harder for both players than Dick Weber, sitting right down in front of us, giving both players all the support he can give them. He just loves the game, loves the competition, and what a classy guy he is. Just a class act.
He's looking on.
There's the guy himself, the man himself, Dick Weber.
Ozio on 5, trying for 6. Has it.
Well, that's the closeout strike. Now it's just a matter of staying clean. Can't afford to make a mistake. But Michael, I'll guarantee you, David Ozio is not going up there thinking of now I can spare out and win this. He's going up there thinking if I strike and strike and strike, nobody can catch me.
And he's thinking if I strike now, I win it in the 9th.
That's right. The tournament is over. You're right. It's a good observation. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to make it the best shot he can make right now.
Talking to himself right there.
He says, come on now, baby. Make the good one.
Trust your shot. Trust your game.
Gave it a lot of room. It's a winner.
It's been since 1991 in the fall, Earl. The fall of 91. 4 long years. And he sits over there on lane 1.
Well, he just wants to savor the moment. This is a big moment in the life of David Ozio. His family, his wife and 2 daughters are here, and they're all going to really feel it more tomorrow than they are tonight. He's going to look back on this tomorrow and say, what a wonderful, wonderful feeling this is.
And I'll tell you what, Walter Ray only won 1 of 4 matches, but he had to have about 260 averaged at him tonight for the 4
games. No question.
Games.
You know, Walter Ray bowled pretty good himself. Shot some big numbers himself. So this has been a very high-scoring event. It's shown the class of the field the PBA has to offer. These guys are all tremendous players, Hall of Famers. It's just been a wonderful night, Mike, and here in the arena, Arthur Ashe Center here, it's just been a fantastic night for bowling, for AMF, for Dick Weber, and especially for David Ozio.
Well, you know, Walter Ray got his 16th victory last week and was creeping up on those second-place finishes, which you're well aware of, and now he gets his 24th second, unless something disastrous would happen to David in the 10th frame.
Well, I don't see, unless he dies out there. Well, he can lose.
And Walter Ray finishing out in style and class. Can have 238, as you predicted back in the 5th frame.
Well, that's the best he could do. Walter Ray knew it, and he already knew that David Ozio was to the point where he couldn't afford to make a mistake, and so class comes out again. Walter Ray has plenty of that.
238, Walter Ray Williams Jr. finishing 6 in a row. A rousing applause from this big crowd. David Ozio needs 7 pins to win.
You can see the emotion on David's face. He's almost in tears.
That's enough. That's 10. David Ozio. Standing O.
What a way to play this game. What a great champion David Ozio is. What a moment in his life right now.
One more. Why not? Why not?
Just think about it. He's going to bowl a score of 280 with one more strike, 790 for the first 3. When you consider that, what a fantastic total of 10.
That's a new PBA
That
record
is.
for
That's
4
a record
games.
for 4. He beat the record.
He beat Bo Burton.
Nelson Burton Jr. held that record. Now, this guy right here, who has tried and worked so hard, nobody deserves it more than David Ozio.
There goes Lisa, out to see hubby. We're going to be back to talk to this wonderful champion about this tremendous performance. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And here's our champion, David Ozio, a new scoring record.
I never even thought about it. All I was trying to do is beat these guys. Man, when you're bowling players of this caliber, all you want to do is CX, that's all. And you worry about the rest later. I tell you what, if I had to go through this again, I don't know if my heart can stand it.
Well, you saw X 39 times tonight. And to present you with the championship trophy here, we've got maybe the greatest player of all time, Dick Weber.
David, congratulations. A beautiful performance. On behalf of AMF, thank you very much for a great, great show.
Thank you, Dick. First of all due goes to God for giving me the strength to do this. Number one, talent. Without that, I wouldn't be here. Secondly, AMF has done a lot for the game of bowling, and for them to step up and put on this tournament is a magnificent feat. They just don't realize what the players think about them and how they look up to AMF for the job that they do for bowling and what they do for these players that have come here. They've treated us as good or better than anybody.
And to honor AMF, Bob Moran, the president's got a check for you.
David, on behalf of AMF Bowling and all my employees worldwide, we're very proud and very happy to present you with this check for $60,000. A well-deserved win. Congratulations.
God bless you for being in the business. One more time.
And David, I've never seen anybody show quite that much emotion in the 10th frame as you did. You could see everything going through your mind.
Well, it started back about a month and a half ago. I spent some time with Bill Taylor, and he's reconstructed my game a little bit, and he's believed in me more than I've believed in me. And he's really put me to this point right here, and I thank him very, very, very much for it.
Well, it shows also how much class and how much heart you have, David.
Well, I just wanted to get focused and just throw great shots, and that's what it's going to take.
Well, we've thrown our last shot as we have to say so long from Richmond, where David Ozio is your champion. For Earl Anthony, this is Mike Durbin saying goodbye. That's the Baylor Brunswick Curling Players Championship. That's coming to you Wednesday, November the 8th, 7:30 Eastern Time. As we draw closer to the Bo Holyfield fight, ESPN presents a special about the two previous Bo Holyfield fights. Be sure to stay tuned for that.